Good morning. Okay, this is episode 2 of what I've decided to call the Warrior Chronicles. I started yesterday on November 16th, today, or 15th, today is November 16th, 2021. I made a little diagram because I'm going to start actually keeping track of some things to be really honest and realistic with myself about how things actually are. That's a suggestion I would make to you, because sometimes things seem a lot bigger than they are. I don't even want to say that, because a lot of the things that I'm dealing with right now are big. But I've grown a lot of resilience over the years, and so typically I can roll through things. I mean, it's just like everything else. You just grow. You grow soul muscles, and you grow brain muscles, and you grow just the ability to be calm in just about any situation. There are things, though, that I always struggle with. If my children are struggling, or my grandchildren, or anybody beloved really close to me, a lot of you know that my husband had a brain injury, and so we go through really difficult times, many winters, and it feels like it might be one of those winters, but I'm having faith that things will resolve. But there are other things going on that I can't really talk about in detail. So I made my 4 biggest issues, and I'm going to actually make a monthly diagram of kind of like thermometers, in case anybody else wants to do this. If you're following along and you're trying to have resilience to get through some things and not have it totally tip you over. Well, actually, my first tip is I literally got out of bed like 15 minutes ago. My first tip is like, get some shawls that have fur, get some hats, and put on some lipstick. Sometimes you just need to, get yourself in a place where you're like, okay, I can do this, whatever your uniform is. It's getting kind of chilly, even though I live in the desert. I live in southern Utah, really close to the border. Actually, I can pretty much see Arizona from here if I get up high enough on the mountain. I live in a pretty warm place, but in the mornings it's cold. But anyway, make some time for yourself to, put yourself together, just for yourself. Probably nobody's even going to see me today except my husband. But I do it for myself. The next thing is just face your stuff and really look at how it actually is, even if it's worse than it was yesterday. I'm going to start doing this every day, because like I said, my number one issue yesterday that just about tipped me over, I just thought I was just going to not make it through the day with this. But by the end of the day, it was here. And I think this is largely due to my own worrying and my own attitude about it. And so I'm gonna try to just keep trusting and get it down somewhere around here. This is something that I can't do a lot about. The reason it went from here to here is because I made some phone calls and talked to some people that I knew I could trust, and I got myself to here. We got there together, and I also, made some proactive steps toward coming up with a solution to this. This one, let's see, I have my key back here. I can't tell you what any of this is because it's too personal. This one feels like it got a little bit worse, but I've dealt with this a lot in my life, and so I know I can get through this, especially if I can get through this. This one I've done a lot, and so I know it's going to resolve itself eventually. But this one, this is one that I have to really work through, because I didn't want to ever deal with this ever, and so I have to work through my feelings about why is this happening. But this is so much about mindset, you guys. Okay, and then this one is, again, largely my own attitude about it, but I'm letting this go a little bit and letting it resolve itself, and it's going down to here, and it'll probably continue to go, but a lot of it's going to be about how I deal with it. And then this one too, I just This one's more around, you know, some of the stuff I told you yesterday, just some of the, you know, worldly financial things that are going on. And I just made, you know, I just did some things yesterday and got it here. And again, I've dealt with this a lot, so I know I'm going to be able to resolve that. So, any of you guys who are following along, I want you to know that, every morning I have to decide, like, who am I going to be today? And, gosh, what does my friend Kolleen say? How free do I want to be today? That's got to be a decision. I mean, we live in a world that, you know, my life and my world is not unique. A lot of people are going through a lot of really difficult things right now. I decide when I wake up in the morning, you know, who do I want to be, and how free do I want to be, and how do I want to show up? And, you know, I remember thinking, like, that's not a fair question, because what if so much stuff is going on in your life that, you know, how can you ever decide? But man, I'm telling you, with, you know, a lot of the things that we're dealing with as a global community, it's going to amp up for a while before it gets better. And so, if you have other stuff going on in your life besides what's actually going on in the world and going on in your country and going on in your town and your community and your industry and your business, all of us are going to have to we're going to have to be proactive. I'm thinking about, I don't know, 10 or so years ago, probably closer to 7, when I was working with the refugee community a lot and the human trafficking community a lot. And I remember having the opportunity, I know a lot of you remember when I did a big, huge product program, 22 feet of product that I designed for Walmart, mostly for women in crisis to be able to participate in the creation of these things. I had the opportunity to meet with and get to know a lot of refugees from a lot of different countries. And so I interviewed them, because that's what I do. I love to hear people's stories. And so I got to interview and listen to the stories from women from Afghanistan and the Congo and, you know, Leon, and, you know, places where there had been, you know, severe crises that put people into refugee camps and ultimately brought them to somewhere safe, which was the United States. And I had this list of questions, and after about five interviews, I think I did a total of 15 or something like that, different women that came from different countries to find safety in the United States. I had a question that I had to just completely drop off of my list because it didn't make any sense to them. And it actually ended up being a useless and almost insulting question. And in the beginning, it was just a question that didn't make any sense to any of them, no matter where they came from. And the question was, what do you do on the days when you wake up and you have to, what do you do when you're having a bad day? How do you lift yourself back up? And without fail, like I said, no matter what country each of them came from, they looked at me with so much confusion. I would say, you know, what do you do on the days when you need to lift yourself back up and you're in a bad mood or you're feeling down or whatever? What do you do to lift yourself back up? They would all just look at me with confusion, every one of them. And they couldn't even understand, even if they could overhear the interview, they wouldn't be able to understand, because most of them I had to do with an interpreter because they couldn't speak English very well yet. So, but they all had that same reaction and almost the same answer. They all said, why would I ever have a bad day when I'm safe, my children are safe, I have enough food, my children are going to get an education? How could I ever have a bad day when I'm in that situation? And that changed my life. And it made me know that having a bad day is actually a luxury that we choose. It's a choice that we make as, you know, Western civilization, where most of us, almost all of us, have homes, we have roofs over our heads, we have food, we have safety for the most part. And so I think about that a lot when I wake up in the morning, and I think, am I going to choose today to have a bad day? Am I going to choose, how free am I going to be today? Who am I going to show up in the world as today? And like I said in the first video, you know, I actually watched Hunger Games last night because Katniss Everdeen is my hero, the way she shows up in the world. I'm dealing with a lot of things at once right now, and I'm just seeing it as an opportunity to become even more of a warrior. It's like getting the intensity turned up day by day. It's like, can you stay calm through this? Can you stay calm through this? Can you stay calm through this? Can you be a warrior through this? And that's what I'm doing. And maybe someday I'll tell you about, some of the things that are going on. Maybe I won't. A lot of it's other people's stories. And so unless I had their permission and it was actually useful, I won't ever talk about what's actually going on. But today, I want to just implore you to choose who you're going to be today. Choose how you're going to show up. Choose how free you want to be. And I know it's really, really hard to do when you're facing things that maybe you've never faced before, or things you have faced before. And it's like, why do I have to go through this again? So much of it is going to be about your mindset. Like I said, this one, it decreased in intensity because of my mindset. This one decreased in intensity because of my mindset. This one decreased in intensity because of my mindset. This one is one that's just going to be something that I deal with my whole life, and I just have to choose how I show up for that every day. So today I am going to show up as Melody Freebird, happy, grateful, with perspective. Why would I choose to have a bad day when I have a roof over my head? I'm with people who I love dearly, and I have enough to eat, and I am surrounded by beauty in nature, and I have art supplies, and I have, everything I really need. Maybe I don't have all the things I want, but I have everything that I really need. So that's all. I'm not going to make these videos very long because I have a lot to say over the days, but here is episode number 2 of the Warrior Chronicles. So stay with it, guys. It's November 16th, 2021, and we're on our way. Mwah.